Show me the money.
What's up, everybody? Dan here. So today I want to talk about a really good strategy for you to make some extra cash weekly, monthly, yearly. Like, this is a solid strategy. It's called selling put options, and specifically naked puts. So today I want to just talk briefly because I've watched several videos on YouTube, and so I want to make things really clear and understandable, because there's been a lot of videos out there that just say, oh, go ahead and just jump into doing this, but there's a lot of things that you need to be careful of, and there's certain collateral that you need to watch, and there is definitely some charts and graphs that you want to check out to kind of pick the best time frame for this strategy, because if you miss this, then there is a lot of risk, and there's ways to get out of that risk, but the best way is to just think smart and just do some research. So today's video is going to be about selling naked puts, which just means you need to have the cash available as a collateral. There is other options out there. So one option is to sell a covered put, and I'll talk about that in another video, but basically you're buying a put and then selling a put against it. I just made a list here real quick for us to go through, and then we're going to jump on in. So right away, you need to have collateral. You need to have cash available to cover these trades. That's just how it is. That's just the name of the game. So every option that you buy, and this is calls or puts, is worth multiple of 100. So you need to make sure to remember that when you're doing this trade. So $1 is actually $100. So, and we're going to get into this, but watch your trade, right? Timing is everything. So you just got to keep an eye on how things are going overall. Implied volatility is your friend. So I'm going to go into this, but basically when you get into an option trade, that's a contract, and there is an expiration, right? So there is a time when that contract's going to end. And the closer you get to that expiration, the less value your option is. So you want to keep that in mind. So time is money, and implied volatility is money. When people are getting excited and things are, and the stock's moving quick, think about Tesla, think about GameStop, things like that. So the implied volatility is through the roof. So you want to capitalize on that and sell that implied volatility and collect some premium. That's the goal. And of course, lastly, you need to be comfortable with owning this stock. So like I said, so there is a chance, of course, that this trade could go against you. So now you've got a few options that you can do, but one of them is you would just own this stock outright. You would own 100 shares. So again, you got to have that cash as collateral, and then you got to be comfortable with saying, hey, AMD is cool. I don't mind owning AMD. So boom, there's 100 shares. So keep that in mind. All right, so let's get into some trades, and we're going to walk through this, and I'm going to clear things up for you guys. It's so much easier to see this. Here's a stock, and I picked Vuzix. So right now, this stock is just closed at $21.85, and I am in selling a put option. So this is Robinhood right here. So here we have a calendar. So here's different times that these options are expiring. So you can go months out, even to years out. And so this just keeps extending as time goes on. The idea behind selling a put is to make a bet that you think that the stock will not close under or at before the expiration date that you pick. All right, so say that I believe that stock is gonna not close below $21. So what happens is when you initiate a put, you are taking this money. So right now this is $1.75, which if you guys remember, this is multiplied by 100. So this would be $175 bet that I would say, okay, I don't think this stock's gonna be below $21. Let me take that bet. So now you just go initiate this, and you can see this is credited to your account. So again, this would be $175, and now that's going to be in your account, and you can trade that or you can withdraw it, whatever you want. That is your money. So now things you have to be aware of. So if the stock does go below $21 before March 19th, so next Friday, if it goes below 21 bucks, you are required to pay that $21. So say it goes to $19, you're still required to pay that $21. So now you're paying $2 extra for each 100 shares, so that's a $200 loss. And so there's ways to get out of that. So we won't go through that now, but so in a way, selling a put is a bullish strategy because you want the stock to go up. The higher it goes up, the least likely it is to be in your expiration area, and you would just collect that premium because, so this is a contract. You're getting paid that money to play, and of course your risk is you might have to buy 100 shares, but at the same time, you get to keep that premium, and that's yours. So you can keep doing this week after week after week, watching, as long as you're keeping an eye on the stock that you're interested in, and you can keep doing this. So if I wanted to play this right here, I would need to have $2,100 in my account ready to go, just in case if this does get called on me, that I'd have that money as collateral to pay that. And so the strategy that I want to talk about is looking at stocks that have high implied volatility. So exciting stocks, right? So things that are going to be move a lot, but then also what that does is that raises the volatility. And so depending on what you want to pick, so you can say, all right, I don't think that VUZI is going to go below $11. I mean, that's $10 off. I mean, that's over a 50% decline. And, I don't think that's going to happen. But so as you can see, the risk is much lower here because, that the probability of this actually happening is very low. So, you're paying more for risk. So what I'm thinking is that if you're okay with just keeping consistent small profits, this is just extra money coming in weekly. So this is just to help with your income. That's what my strategy is. But if you do have a large account, so if you have upwards of over $100,000 in your account, so take a look at options like GameStop. So check this out. So in a couple weeks, if I think that GameStop's gonna be above $109, I can place this bet, and so I would get $1,000 in my pocket today. And again, the same rules apply. I can do whatever I want with it, and this is 10 times 100, so this is $1,010. In my pocket today. So there is currently right now it's sitting at a 77% chance that I would be positive in this stock. And so now what you can do as a trick too is, because when an option gets closer and closer to the money, so you're paying for what I refer to as time. So time is money, think of that. And so when an option is closer to its expiration, every day it's losing value. It's coming down in time. And so every day this option is going to be worth less and less and less and less as the time gets closer, because eventually it's going to expire. And if it doesn't hit that $110, say, mark that you are thinking, then you win. Say you weren't comfortable holding this until expiration because, I mean, granted, this stock has just been nuts and kind of all up and down all over the place. So even if you were to hold this for a couple days, I guarantee you when you check this, this is going to have gone down a couple $100 just because the effects of time and implied volatility, which you can't really see on Robinhood, but I'll show you in another platform where you can look at implied volatility and you can see what I'm talking about. Because typically I want to focus on options that are around 20% implied volatility. Anything above 20%, you're paying premium. And what I mean is the option is going to be more expensive. Okay, so here we are in Webull, and I just wanted to point this out is that, so we are looking at the same 110 option on GameStop, and it is going to be selling and finishing on the week of March 26th. Right now you can see the implied volatility, so that's this column here. and we are right now at 306%. So there is because of this stock itself and just how exciting and how much it's been moving, there is so much percentages built into this to see if this is going to go up or down like crazy that people are willing to pay a very high premium. I just want to show you the effects of time decay and how we can really make some money on this. So now say I put this bet in today and I got $1,030. So here's the effect of time, right? So now I'm looking for the 110, but now it's only 7 days instead of 14 days. So for the 110, right now this is selling for $245. So that is roughly just under $800 of a change. And so the only thing that has happened right now is time has affected that option. That for 7 more days of price action is going into that 26-day option. So, and the reason why this is going down so much is because there's implied volatility there again is very high. So you're paying top dollar to play these trades. So say you didn't even want to hold that option that you bought on March 26th. Say you didn't even want to hold that till expiration. Maybe you saw the stock was heading on a downtrend, maybe not. So, obviously there's not a chance that it's going to lay right here in a week's time. But if the stock is holding or around, up still pretty high, or at least above 110, this number is gonna be lower, I guarantee you, than $1,030. So you could sell that option back. So right now I could buy this back for $305 at market. So obviously I wouldn't do that at market. I would try to find like a limit order somewhere in between that. So you can do that. So I would try to sell this back for under $300, and using that last example, I would have had about $700 in my pocket, and I'd taken that risk off the table of not even having to wait a week. I mean, that's not a bad return. Other options you can do this strategy for are Tesla. We have seen Tesla drop like crazy in a while, but so this is saying that in 5 days, Tesla will be above one of these prices, and I'll make a bet on that. So we are thinking about the odds that this is going to be happening. And so another strategy that you definitely want to do before you take a look at placing these trades is looking at the chart in the long term, because you want to see, where it's falling and where the trends are going, so that you're placing your bet in the right direction. Okay, so here we are looking at a chart of Tesla. So this is just a 90-day time horizon, and so as you can see here, the stock has not been lower than $540. And since the past 90 days, so 3 months. So, and you also want to look at, just how the stock's been performing. So obviously it's kind of just come off a strong downward trend, so there's definitely still chances that it's going to go up and down. But so if you remember, we were looking at options that were kind of in the range of 480 to 460 kind of time horizons. That's anywhere about like here or so, around this time frame. So in the matter of 5 days, Tesla would have to drop several hundred points just to reach those times. Even if, say, our strike price is 480 and this thing falls next Friday at 481, we still win, right? Because it's above our 480 strike price. So it doesn't matter as long as it's above. So this stock would have to fall dramatically in order for it to hit our strike point. And not saying that it can't, right? So that is why it's very important that you have this extra cash lying around so that you could definitely profit from this. But you can see the power of leverage here and the power of having cash available to make these trades. If we were right, we just collected $100 or however much money. So this is why this could be a nice strategy where you can do a few of these options weekly, and before you know it, you're making several $100s a week on very low risk options.
Okay, so what's the catch, right? Because this seems almost too easy to be true. All right, so we all know that stocks move like crazy. So take Tesla, for example. Just a couple weeks ago, that thing was down a couple hundred points. So if you had some crazy far out strike price, you might have got hit. And now, say you didn't want to buy $45,000 worth of the stock and you just wanted to collect the option. So you can either buy to get out of that sale, right? So there you would take a loss, or say you believe that in a couple weeks, because it's very hard to time the market, that you think Tesla's going to go back up. So let's take a look. So right now this is selling for $1, $100 you'd get in credit, and this is for $450. So now if I push it out a couple weeks, what you could do is you can give yourself more of a buffer. So look at this. So for $450 right now, a couple weeks out, is selling for $310. So say I wanted to give myself even more of a cushion, and now I can drop this down. So now instead of $450, I can go down to like say $410. So that's a $40 move, and now I'm still above because I'm getting $218. So that's a dollar credit. So I am above, so I have just effectively rolled this position out further in hopes that this thing will go back up again and then I'll be able to collect my premium. And you want to make sure you're staying ahead, right? You don't want to sell and then buy back in for a loss. That would be, over time, that'd just be a negative strategy. So that's one way to get out of this.
So this by no means is a perfect strategy or a super easy strategy. I mean, there are things to take into consideration. Last week, a couple weeks ago, market move was a perfect example. So there, you still have to be watching the stock. You still have to be very bullish on the stock, but this is a strategy that I think can be used week over week or longer term too. You can make some more premium with the longer term too. Let me know what you think of this strategy, and let me know if you're trading options or not, or if you're interested in more videos. Be sure to like and give a thumbs up to this video. It would really help out the channel, and I'll see you at the next video. Thanks a lot.